parere, you see in the margin. It takes the dative case. We've had this before. He's just refreshing your memory. Germani hostes Romanorum sunt. The Germans are enemies of the Romans, ac bellum est inter Germanos et Romanos. And there is a war between the Germans and the Romans. Germani exercitum nostrum oppugnan. The Germans attack. So that's what that verb adds there. Attack. Often in the sense of to attack a fortified position. They attack our army. Okay. Quid est exercitus? So we see there with exercitus, right? We don't have to write this all out, but we just want to note there that we're seeing a fourth declension noun, not for the very first time. Not for the very first time, because we've had, oh shoot, I forgot to close this. We've had manus, and now we have our third declension noun, exercitus, exercitus. You can see the whole chart of that on page 91. Now, I refer you to your gender rhymes handout. We get a small number of exceptions there. The vast majority of fourth declension nouns and end in short, a short US, and there are also some that end in a long U. Those that end in the short US are almost all masculine. Those that end in a U are neuter. But you'll see there's some pretty prominent exceptions. Domus, the word for home, house, and manus, the word for hand, are two of those exceptions. So please learn that exceptions rhyme for the quiz over chapter 12. All right, you can learn the rhyme, or you can just, get the information in there. All right. All right, Julia, quid est exercitus? What is an army? Exercitus est manius numerus militum, qui contra hostes ducitur. An army is a large number of soldiers, which ducitur is led against the enemies, Qui exercitum ducit, dux exercitus est. He who leads an army is the leader of the army. Dux, third declension noun. We'd expect that to be feminine because it ends in X, but except for Penthesilea, general the Amazons, we don't get a lot of female military leaders. So that goes back to our original rule of if it's a dude, it's masculine. Okay, so you have a question here from Danielle. Why is Roman with aurum instead of or ium? Let's see. Where are we looking at? Are we looking at line 76? Germani amici Romanorum. The Germans are friends. There's the end of the sentence, but we have the genitive in of the Romans. of the Romans. They are not friends of the Romans. And remember, Romanus is a first, second declension adjective. So no matter what noun it's paired with, it's going to have first, second declension endings. Okay. Now that changes, right? When we go into the positive degree, when we go into the comparative degree or the superlative degree, it has its own set of endings. But those endings don't have anything to do with the noun it's paired with. So Romanus aum is always in the positive degree a first, second declension adjective. That is, it shows Romanus aum and the endings that we've associated with that. Okay, but let me know if that didn't answer the question. All right. So he who leads an army is the leader of the army. The leader commands. In English, we like an accusative. It's a dative here in Latin. The leader commands to the army. But we wouldn't say that in English, so we're going to have to say what we say in English. It's known as imperare. Parere, as I've already said, takes the dative case. Exercitus duci suo paret. The army obeys its leader. For nam dux ab exercitu metuitur. Another verb for to fear. Metuere. For the leader is feared by the army. In Germania et in Britannia sunt magni exercitus, notice the plural, the macron, Romani. In Germany and Britain there are large Roman armies. See how Romani is still first, second declension ending, even though it's paired with a fourth declension noun. Qui contra exercitus hostium pugnat, who fight against the armies of the enemies, or of our enemies, Julius might be saying. Okay. Milites et duces exercituum. There's the genitive plural. The soldiers and the leaders of the Roman armies, metuuntur, are feared by our enemies. In Hispania et in Gallia non multi sunt milites Romani. In Hispania and in Gaul there are not many Roman soldiers. Nam Hispania et Galli, for the residents of Hispania and of Gaul, qui eas provincias incolunt, there's that verb again, who inhabit those eas provincias, those provinces. Iam exercitibus nostris parent. Already, now. Iam can often have the sense of already. Obey with a dative. Exercitibus nostris, our armies. In exercitibus Romanis, etiam Hispani et Galli multi militant. In the Roman armies also many Hispani and Galli fight militare. Qui et alia arma et arcus sagittasque ferunt, who carry both other weapons, and bows and arrows. Julia. Ubi habitat Aemilius? We're beginning here Lexit Tertio. Where does Aemilius live? Julius. Aemilius in castris habitat mille passus a fine imperii. Aemilius lives in a camp. In a camp. Notice in the margin this word is always in the plural. We bring it into English in the singular. What if we need to talk about more than one camp? We have to put something out front to specify that. Like, duo castra, 2 camps, tria castra, that's what. Aemilius lives in a camp, 1000 passos, what case, 1000 passos. Mille, indeclinable, 1,000. Passus could be nominative, could be accusative. We've talked about the accusative of extent. He lives in a camp 1,000 paces, 1,000 steps from the border of the empire. From the border of the empire. Okay. Castra sunt militum oppidum. A camp is, notice, castra sunt. A camp is, in English, a town of soldiers. A town of soldiers. Okay. So, 1000 passos, again, the accusative of extent. He lives in a camp to the extent of 1,000 paces. The border of the empire. Marcos. Quam longos est passus? How long is a stride, a step? Passus, we see, tells us in the margin there. Also a fourth declension noun. It's roughly equivalent to 1.48 meters. Okay, like 1.5 yards or so. And he says there it's like 5 feet. That is 5 Roman feet. And we saw back on page 87 in the margin that 1 foot is like 29.6 centimeters. Which is 11.65 inches. So, for those of you who are interested, our mile in meters is roughly 1,609 meters. That's 4 laps around the track, plus 9 meters tacked on to the end, whereas their mile was 1,480 meters, much closer to the metric mile, which is 1,500 meters. Anyway, that's track and field stuff, neither here nor there. So, how long is a step, a stride? Julius, I'm at line 96. Onus passus est quinque pedes. 1 stride is 5 feet, quinque pede. Ergo, 1000 passus, therefore 1,000 strides, sunt quinque milia peduo, are 5,000s of feet. Are 5,000s of feet. It's not what we say in English, is it? We say 5,000 feet. We say 1,000 feet. We say 5,000 feet. The Romans said 1,000 feet. And then when you went 2, 3, 4,000, you put 1,000 into the plural. Starts to decline. You see it in the margin there. It's neuter. Milia. Milium. Always in the plural. So we say duo milia hominum. 2,000s of persons. So therefore 1,000 strides are 5,000s of feet. Just say what we say in English. But see that you have the partitive genitive. They're 5,000s of feet. In castris milii, 6 milia militum habitant. In the camp, again singular, in the camp of Aemilius, 6,000s of soldiers live. In English, we're going to say 6,000 soldiers live. Nulle feminae aut pueri illic habitant. No women or children. So pueri doesn't always have to be boys. It can be puelle et pueri. No children illic habitant. I'm going to use the term liberi more when you're talking about your own kids. And pueri, just, kids of that age. Nec enim feminae puerique militare possunt. 4 women and children cannot fight. Marcos. No, one more line. Circum castra, around the camp, singular. Fossa et valum longum et altum. Fossa. You can see there. Fossa, a ditch, a trench, a moat sort of thing.